Welcome back to the Gotham Sports Machine. I'm your host, Jack Healy, joined by my co-host, Mark Healy. And today we're going to be talking some baseball and some basketball. How are you doing today, Mark?
I'm great. Obviously, before the NBA draft tonight, a couple of deals last night that certainly had some local interest. The first is the Nets, trading for Julius Randle. To me, and they traded away Nick Claxton. But to me, like, does this deal really help the Nets? I mean, Julius Randle's got to be like going from a team that he took to the playoffs a couple of years in a row in Minnesota, and now going to Brooklyn, which is in clear rebuilding mode. Even though they have a ton of cap space and they have two picks in the what is it, the first two picks in the first round tonight, or they have
Yeah, they just acquired another one in that
that's
trade.
right, right. So what do you think of that deal for Julius Randle and for the Nets?
I mean, it's not a bad deal just in the fact they literally gave up nothing. They gave up Nick Claxton and he went over to the Bulls. It was a three-team trade.
Right.
But they got Randall and they got a first round pick. So like it's really like a he's a better player than Claxton, clearly, and he's a
Sure.
stat stuffer. It's like he's kind of what they need. Like he's proven he can be a bit like a good, solid player even on bad teams. He's just not really like one of those top guys on a playoff team. So I don't hate the move for them. I think he's gonna fit in well with kind of like just being able to do it whatever he wants. Like it's just gonna be him and MPJ. There's really no other talent on that team. I wonder if they're going to make another move. If they're going to try to make a big splash, maybe whether it's a big man or a guard, or if they're just going to stay put and take that point guard or big man tonight. They got the sixth pick. It's like weird because there's four really, really good prospects in this draft. And the Nets are like just on the outside looking in for that.
Right.
So maybe they move up and try to get one of those guys. I mean, we'll see. I mean, the top three, like between AJ DiBenesta, between Cam Boozer, who we saw absolutely destroy St. John's, even though he's getting every single call. I mean, he was one of the best freshmen we've ever seen. I mean, the Nets need one of those guys. If they can somehow pull off a move to get into one or two, you have to do it. But I don't know. The Nets, I've never been a fan of the Nets and their recent moves. And I'm not gonna start like praising them for going to get Julius Randle. I mean, it sucks for him. He's in the torture chamber now, but
Well, look, I mean, this is the way I look at it, right? Julius Randle's proven that he could go to a team and produce even though the team isn't good. I mean, he's done that before, right? He's a veteran now. He's a guy that should be a good mentor. Obviously, he was a good mentor to the Knicks when he was there. Certainly a guy that can play within a team structure. He's not a guy that's going to demand the ball every 30 seconds. It's going to be interesting to see how that all works out. I don't think they'll be good by the time. I don't. I think it'll take a lot more time for them to be a playoff contender. But I do think that it could be a good move for him, and eventually a good move for the Nets. Well, obviously, the other big trade that happened last night with Hero going to the Bucks for our friend Giannis. And look, there's 2 points to this question. Number one, how much does this help the Heat? And you know, is this the first of another move that Pat Riley is going to make? Because to me, it's kind of a lateral move in the sense that the number two guy really is Hero. And Giannis, does Giannis have a lot of help on that Heat team, or is Pat Riley going to make another move tonight?
how's it? I mean, it's not a lateral move in the fact
Well, no, Giannis is better than Hero, but I'm saying
but miles better than,
right.
and they didn't really give up any of their the guys they gave up are good. They're solid role players, but Pat Riley is taking some of these guys from like Khalil Ware was like a late second round pick. Jaquez was I mean he was like I think he was a mid-teen first round pick, but no one really thought he was gonna be anything. Like these guys are Eric Spoelstra has turned like these random players and made them look like gold over and over again, and he swindled teams into signing them into big money and thinking that they're these great players, and we haven't really seen many of them go on to other teams and do very well. I mean, Max Strus is like one of the few exceptions, and even he has had his ups and downs.
Right.
So as far as like, yeah, they're thin, but I think Spo is gonna and Pat Riley, they're gonna be able to fill out that roster. I just wonder if there's gonna be a big move. Like, I think they could have something else because they don't really have much capital after that trade,
Right.
but you never know. You never know with those guys.
I,
So
did you see what Kendrick Perkins said the other
what?
day? That Giannis will never win another championship if with him being the number one option on offense. Do you agree with that?
And you just can't say things like that because who knows? Like, who knows what they do? A
Right.
year or two from now, like they go out and get who knows? Because he's a big man. Like the way his game's gonna age, like he's been this forward, this 7 foot forward that moves athletically like nobody can. He's easily just gonna be able to put on like 20, 30 pounds when he gets older and slower and just be one of the best big men in the league and just play in the post and just dominate in the post. Like his game is gonna age. So he might not be the Giannis that we saw in his MVP years, but he could just become a whole different player.
Right.
And Kendrick Perkins, who was he to say anything about anyone being a number one option? That guy was he was the janitor on his championship teams. His best season is like 8 points a game.
I thought you would get a kick out of it. That's why I asked the question. But look, I mean, as far as the Knicks are concerned, I mean, much better that he went to the Heat instead of the Celtics, right?
Yep. I mean, I don't know how the Celtics would have looked because they would have had to make a similar deal. The
Right.
whole reason the Heat got Giannis is because they gave them all these role players, and the Celtics weren't willing. Like the Celtics offer just ended up being like Jaylen Brown and first round picks, which is apparently going to end up being pretty big that they offered up Jaylen Brown because I think up to now it was all really just smoke and mirrors on if they were really like willing to do that and willing to ship off Jaylen Brown. It really just it seemed like just made up by the media to me like they would even consider trading the guy they just spent $400 million to bring back, won a championship with. Has they've been considering them that he's been accepting the number two role to Tatum, and he's been that guy when they needed to. Like Tatum's been banged up, he stepped up just like that.
Right.
Everything could be gone. Because some players like they take that personally, and they've already gotten multiple calls offered for Jaylen Brown. Like they want him. Other teams want him. He's a great player. He's an All NBA player.
Right.
So if this ends up blowing up the Celtics, I mean, maybe it's
Sad.
not so bad for the Knicks.
Sad.
Yeah, boo hoo.
Well, I mean, to me, I look at it as, uh, now the Knicks, what, have a low first round pick tonight?
They got the 24th pick. I'm hoping they get my guy from St. John's, Zuby Ejiofor. I
Yes.
think he fit in like a glove.
Yep.
But if they want to go more height, I do like the big man from UConn. But if you look at the games they played, Zuby outplayed this guy, Tarris Reed. I like him,
Yep.
but
Yeah, I do too.
if you at the end of the day, if you show me the film and you show me one guy outplaying the other, it's gonna be really hard for me to be like, oh, let me take the guy that got outplayed for more. It wasn't just one game. UConn and St. John's played multiple games, and Zuby had like a 20-point double double in every single one, even though he's
Yep.
got
Well, he was great. He was great. And he's a Patino coach player,
yeah.
so you have that as part of the. I mean, I know Danny Hurley's a great coach too, but when it comes to like, I don't know. To me, I trust Patino more than I trust Hurley, but you know, it's one of those situations where like he's a New York player, New York guy. When you want him to go to the New York team, like that would be awesome. like with Mark Jackson when I always wanted Chris Mullin to be a Knick. It never happened, but look, I trust Leon Rose. People have said, "Oh, I trust David Stearns," and "Oh, I trust Brian." Leon Rose has gotten it done. So whatever he thinks, whatever him and his front office and Worldwide West and all those guys, I'm sure Mike Brown's going to have some say in what they do or what they're looking for. I'm sure Jalen Brunson might have something to say to Leon Rose or whatever. Um, I just trust them. I trust them to make a good pick. I trust them to make sure that this team is ready to rock and run it back and do it all again next year.
I'm not even so positive that they even make a pick. I mean, they have such a plethora of
Sure.
young assets, whether it be players or these picks. They got 3 picks tonight. I mean, you can't roster all these guys.
Right.
You can only roster 15 guys. So, I
And they
mean,
may,
but
they just signed somebody, right? That they
they
weren't
just yeah, they
expecting.
just brought back Muhammad Diawara, who I
Right.
love. He looked great in spots last year, and he didn't even really play in the playoffs because he's so young.
Right.
And you put some weight on him, I mean, he could be scary. He's one of those like 6'11", 6'10" wings, can guard every position. His game
Right.
kind of reminds me of Durant in ways. I mean, he's no Kevin Durant, but he's got that silky smooth pull up, and that's a guy that the Knicks could use. They could use some height. They could use some switchability on defense. They got so many guys that we didn't even see play, whether it be Kolek, Diawara.
I
They
love
got
him. I love him.
yeah.
He's fun to watch. So, all right. So, on to much more sobering news. Look, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I know you're going to disagree with me. The Mets are right now terrible. I've never felt so badly
I'm
about a
gonna
Mets
disagree with
team.
that.
No, no, no. But you may disagree with what I'm going to say. So I think that the Met assets, whatever assets they may have, are so low in value right now, including Freddie Peralta, including Brett Beatty, including Mark Vientos. Um, you know, to me, I don't think they should sell at the deadline. And with Lindor coming back, and look, they are still mathematically alive for that third wild card spot. So I'm of the opinion that the season's not over. I don't think it's over. I still think that they have a run in them. I don't know if the run is going to be successful, but I do think they have a run in them. Uh, Obviously, when you look at the pitching staff right now, there's not a lot of hope there, right? They just got, I mean, they won a game. I don't know how they won a game against the Phillies, but they managed to win a game. You got Senga going tonight. You got a doubleheader tomorrow with the Cubs. To me, with Lindor coming back, I just think that look, any trade that the Mets make to sell is going to be really poor return on investment. So I'd rather they not do that. And frankly, I really don't trust David Stearns at this point to trade assets in the system right now, any of the minor leaguers, because his player evaluation skills to me are very poor. So what I would do, Sonny Gray's available. There are some pitchers out there that they might be able to get. I would trade for a pitcher. I would trade maybe for maybe two pitchers and try to make a run with this team. What do you think?
Yeah, run for what? 500? Because that's where
I mean,
this
they
is
have to get there first before we can talk about anything else. But
exactly. And we've been having this conversation for 2 months. They're terrible.
right,
They have it every time someone kind of looks like, oh, maybe they're gonna actually have a good season. The only guy that is having a somewhat like watchable baseball season on this Mets team is Juan Soto. Everybody, I mean, I guess, and the kids
the
too,
kids.
Ewing and Bench and McLean. But like they're not supposed. We're supposed to have a solid. This is a $400 million team. You're supposed to have at least 5 to 6 guys. you rely on every day in that lineup to go and give you something. And they have Bichette has been seesaw. He's starting to trend up, but he's still not even a 700 OPS player, and he's making $50 million.
Yep.
It's just you can't expect me to have faith in a team that got rid of all of their consistency for a bunch of guys. Half of the guys that they brought in aren't even playing, and the other half aren't good. So we're gonna go into the deadline and just add to that. I mean, how are you gonna add without? There's no draft picks to trade. There's no.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I can't sit here before my birthday, which is on June 27th, for all of those who are wondering. But I can't sit here on my before my birthday and say the season's over or that I don't have any hope. It's just it's crushing. It's soul crushing. So I have to, maybe it's the Met fan in me, maybe it's just, whatever, maybe I'm delusional, but like I gotta feel like maybe, just maybe, there's a chance that they could, you know, have a 7 or 8 game winning streak, get back to 500, and then build from there.
Yeah, the only way I see that happening is Stearns being the magical boy genius that we all thought he was, and we all dreamed about, and he finally has the deadline I thought he had last year. I was really last deadline I was really happy with what he did. I mean, we needed bullpen, and he went out and he got a bullpen. Some of those guys didn't really perform, but I mean, we demanded something and he did it. So
Yep.
I mean, like, obviously, that's not your job as a GM or anything, but like everyone in the world knew that they needed bullpen, and not only did he didn't just get one or two guys and like, oh, call it a day. He got like 4 or 5 guys that was supposed to be quality arms, and then he went to the off season, and then it just became like, what is going on here? Like it seemed like everybody's on the same page until they weren't. And not only are we not on the same page, nobody knows what the hell is going on. So, in a perfect world, I think they're able to trade Peralta because he's been brutal this year. But even his brutal year, I think he's still under a 5 ERA, and he's still had a great career. But even in this MLB, with guys have noodle arms. They can't even pitch, much less consistently give you under a 4 ERA. So the fact that he's been able to do it consistently over his career, like that does have value.
Unless they're facing the Mets.
And he's also an expiring deal. So
Right.
some contending
Yeah.
team is
Might come
going
up
to give
something.
us something.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know,
So
man. I'm just, it's just rough. It's rough. It's rough to watch. I mean, look, I'm tired of hearing about injuries too. Every team has injuries. The Yankees have injuries. Every team in baseball has injuries.
and we've actually replaced injuries pretty well because we've replaced them with these
Yeah.
kids. But it's
Yep.
the fact that the injuries were right away. And it was like almost like we were banking on it to happen. Like Polanco has been an injury prone player. Robert's been an injury prone player. It's not like the surprise. It wasn't like, oh my God. Like there
Right.
was so many what ifs and if he could be. You can't base a season on that. You got to base a season and your lineup. You got to base it on what you've actually seen and what you actually know you're gonna get.
Did you did you happen to see the speculation? It wasn't a rumor. It was speculation. Bob Nightingale today posted on Twitter that the Brewers, excuse me, that the Mets might have interest in Willie Adames
Yeah,
to make that Willie Adames for Marcus Semien trade.
yeah,
Like, why would they do that? They just traded
Show the
Nimmo.
video of what was it, Winker? When Winker flipped them off.
Why would you? First of all, he signed a ridiculous contract,
Yeah,
okay, with the Giants. The Mets just traded Nimmo because Stearns thought that was an aging, ridiculous contract. So what, they're going to trade for another contract. I mean, it just doesn't
for a
make
guy
any
who's
sense.
a guy who can barely hit 250.
Oh,
And he's had years where he's been good, but he's like
yeah.
exactly what we don't need right now.
No, it's the
Oh, and
last
we'll
kind.
move Bo Bichette, the elite defensive player. We'll move him to second base so we
Oh,
can learn another new position.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
Honestly, but Stearns might look at that and be like, oh, he might be onto something.
Look, and here's another thing. Somebody posted a few minutes ago. We haven't really heard much about the pitching lab lately, have we? The pitching lab that was going to solve all the Mets problems with the pitching. I
The
mean,
pitching, but when the guys have been healthy, it hasn't been horrible, but it's been so inconsistent. There's been stretches where it's like, oh wow, we're pitching really good, but the hitting has been consistently horrendous.
yep.
If you look at their numbers across the board, I think I had it up before. It was I wanted to throw up. I actually wanted to throw up. Like their team stats, they're 26th in runs, 24th in hits, 25th in average, 29th in on base percentage, 28th in slugging, 29th in OPS. They're horrendous.
But we can't question it because it's just bad luck. Analytics solves all.
Not the fact that they gutted the lineup, and not the fact that your best hitter outside of Juan Soto, who hasn't even been here, like you just added him, Pete Alonso, your career Met. Oh, what do you know? He's got another 18 home runs around the All-Star break and 800 OPS, driving in 50 runs. You think we missed that? You think that would help our team? Or no, no, Mr. Polanco, who's never played first base in his life, who's
And
played
here,
like
and here's the thing. But here's the thing, Jack. Here's the thing. Because people keep saying, "Oh, you're living in the past. You're living in the past." It's fine if you wanted to do that. If he wanted to put his own stamp on this team, and he wanted to improve the defense, and he wanted to improve the consistency, or whatever his target, whatever his object was, to change things up, he failed miserably. It's not even so much, what he let go, it's what he brought in to fix it.
yeah.
That's the problem. It's almost as if like almost every player he picked to bring in, and look, when a guy is struggling and I like him, yes, I've been guilty of saying, well, look what he does with runners in scoring position. I've done that. Semien has been hitting really well with runners in scoring position. But he's not the second baseman that we were told. He's not elite. He's made plenty of misplays. He clearly doesn't have the range that he used to have, right? And I was told that, when Lindor got hurt, well, Semien can play shortstop. Yeah, no, he could barely play second base right now. He doesn't have the range that he used to. He'll make the plays that are hit right to him. He hasn't been terrible at second base, but he was supposed to be this consistent, this leader, this guy who was going to come to play every day. He's not good. He's not, and I don't want to pick on him because he was traded from a favorite player. I don't want to pick on him, but we were told by all of the guys that love Stearns, we were told that this guy was going to be like an asset. He hasn't been. He has not been an asset. Polanco's been hurt. Bichette taking him forever to adjust. Now that happens sometimes when the guy plays in New York for the first time. And you know what Pop says? Pop always says, well, we can't hit the National League pitching. I don't think that's the issue. I think it's being in the spotlight of New York. But Bichette has not been good. He's had some flashes, yes. He's shown as I said, flashes here and there, but he hasn't been consistent. And the way that the Mets set up their lineup, even if you had, I mean, Jared Young's your cleanup hitter, MJ Melendez is your cleanup hitter. I mean, it's mind-boggling how bad this team is and how the people who support Stearns
Don't it's like
they defend it like this is all part of a plan. What plan? What was the plan? What was the plan? To stink? To lose 90 games?
they've had it. It's like in 2024. we were in a very similar situation, and I was not like this at all. I wasn't because they had a core I was comfortable with, and I've seen consistently get themselves out of holes and go on ridiculous runs. I don't understand how you like can just willingly break that up with a bunch of guys. Like now it's just a bunch of guys. People, it was all like talk about, oh, they don't like each other. They don't like, you don't have to like each other to
No,
be a good team and to have good chemistry. You don't have to like each other.
I don't think that's even the case. I don't
You
think
need
that's the
something
case.
to, all they ever needed was something to play for. And different years gave them different things to play for and different things to rally around. And 2024 had the best thing that they've ever had to rally around, and that was the whole OMG Mets. And it brought them together. After every game, they were singing and dancing together like
Right.
they were a family. And you could never tell that there was any tension between any of them.
Right.
And when you have that in the locker room and you're playing for that every single game, it's different. Like they're not playing for anything right now. They're playing for their lives almost.
Well, they
From the
want to wear the
jump.
Spider-Man. They want to wear the Spider-Man mask. They want to do that. They
And
enjoy
it's like
that.
but like you have to try to like think of things like that when you're struggling like this
Right.
because you have nothing to play for. Or you're getting booed every day because you get paid. You're supposed you This is a big money, big market team. The
Yep.
expectations are through the roof. You get paid big bucks, you're expected to play that way. So the second you don't, and this when you're the Mets, especially when this team is not the Yankees, they don't have 17, 8, whatever, however the hell many World Series those clowns have.
28.
Yeah, yeah. Even then, screw those guys. Yankees.
Well, here's the thing. The Yankees, with Judge out, with Stanton still out, Garrett Cole got smacked around a little bit last night, but he feels like he's, on his way back. They're 8-4 without Judge. Look, here's what I think. I think Brian Cashman knows exactly what he wants to do at the deadline. I think he has a plan. I think they're probably going to try to upgrade at catcher. I think they're going to try to upgrade with the bullpen. As bad as it looks right now with the Yankees, I mean, as far as injuries, I still think that you look at the quality of the American League, you look at what the Yankees are able to do, however they do it. I still think this team is going to win the division. So I don't think Brian Cashman's going to sit back and not do anything at the deadline. What do you think?
I think they have to do something at catcher. Like maybe he wants to be like whatever about McMahon because he like has a good glove and they have options where they can kind of move around guys in the infield.
Yeah,
You can't go on with Wells and Escara going into the playoffs. Wells has been one of the worst hitters I've ever seen this year.
yeah, he's been bad.
And Escara is not you can't rely on that guy. You have to make a move. You have to go out and get a guy that can consistently at least go out there like 75% of the time. Maybe not an everyday guy, but even then, like when's the last time they've even made a major move for a hitter? I can't even remember. I guess Jazz,
Yep,
but I mean catcher's such an important position and
it
Wells
really
is
is. It
he's,
really is.
he's been
It
good
really is.
defensively, but
Yeah.
you need someone that's not you can't just have one of these tomato can catchers that all they can do is defend. We saw for years Thomas Nido. And everybody, oh, Thomas Nido, Thomas Nido. That guy
Yeah.
was,
You're right. I guess they really miss Luis Torrens.
yeah, I mean, the second we saw Torrens, you like realized how garbage Nido was. Like immediately.
Right. Well, not only that, it's like that situation where it was like, what were the Yankees thinking? I guess they had some depth at that point,
They
but
gave him money. They
it's
literally
just
couldn't even get
yeah,
anything for him.
exactly. I mean, he'd be their starting catcher right now.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
that's
he's
where
not
the
much
Mets can
better, but
sell.
I mean,
Maybe they'll trade Torrens. Maybe they'll trade Torrens to the Yankees.
and they just
Or
extended him.
Volpe. We'll get Volpe back.
Yeah, that's exactly what we need.
Tell him to tell him to take Marcus Simeon back. And we'll give him Torrens and Simeon for Mike Volpe. Anthony Volpe.
I think genuinely the only chance that the Mets have is to just sell whatever the hell they can. And I think the Yankees had to really like look into. I think even making a big move at third base isn't out of the question either. I mean, there isn't
Yeah.
many great like the third baseman market in general is all over the place.
Yep.
All these big contracts have not really worked out. So I don't expect them to go and get like one of the top guys, but you got to go out and get somebody.
And the other thing too is with the lockout looming, and you're the Yankees. I mean, I don't expect them to, look, they need bullpen help too. There's no question about that. I mean, they miss Luke Weaver. And look, they miss
Devin Williams.
Devin Williams. They miss him too. Those two guys right now at the back end of the Yankee bullpen, they're 100% better. That bullpen has not been good. And the thing, the problem is that they have this general manager that doesn't want to add a lot of payroll because the owner doesn't want to be over the luxury tax. But when you have a lockout looming, I mean, I don't think they're going to take on some big long-term contract. I don't think they're going to do that. But they're going to have to really. And again, they could win the division and win a round or two in the playoffs, without doing any of that stuff if they get Judge and Stanton back healthy by the end of August. But they've got to solidify that team so they can win the World Series. That should be the mindset. I don't think it is, but I still think that Cashman will make a move or two to get them better, to get them so that they can, kind of, because right now they look awful. I know they're 8-4, but right now they look, they do not look like a good team. But they have, they've won a lot of games so far, so they're in better shape than our team. But if I'm a Yankee fan, I'm worried. I'm worried about what is the plan at the deadline. That's what I'm worried about if I'm a Yankee fan.
I mean, especially with like if there's a lockout, that's another year you're not gonna have Judge and Stanton. And that's
Yep.
another year. That's just another year. Like this team's getting older,
Yep.
so you don't go all in this year. I mean, this could be it for this core of Yankees. At least like the Judge and Stanton Yankees, because
Right.
who knows how much baseball Stan has left in them.
Yep. But I'd rather be the Yankees right now than the Mets. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, the Yankees just seem like they're a move or two away every year, and the Mets, they were right there. They were
They were
right there.
right there. They were right there.
And then David Stearns,
Ugh. He's got a
whatever.
plan. He's got a plan, though, Jack. He's got a plan.
Uh, we gotta hope. We gotta hope. Well, we got the draft tonight.
Yep.
The Mets, are they gonna play tonight? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
they're gonna play.
raining.
Yeah, they're gonna play. It's supposed to stop at like 7, I think, 7 or 8. They'll get the game in because the Cubs. This is the only Cubs. This is the only their only trip in. You don't want to you want to get it over with. Stupid Cubs.
Yep. All right. Well, this has been another great episode of the Gotham Sports Machine. Follow us on Instagram, Spotify, TikTok. Watch us there too. I'll see you guys next week.